What's up guys, in this video we're taking Google and Apple Maps and putting them against each other to see which one is better at what. So Google Maps is a free download from App Store and it's only been available for a few days now. At first sight, the app seems to be very smooth and it doesn't have any lags or bugs at all. On the other hand, we have Apple Maps. This is something Apple has replaced Google Maps with in iOS 6. As you can see, pinching to zoom works just fine, if not better than Google Maps. Now let's take a look at the interfaces. In Google Maps, you can see a huge search bar on top as well as a little more button at the bottom. If you tap it, you get 4 options such as traffic, public transit, satellite, and going to Google Earth. So as you see, the interface is pretty simple and elegant. Now let's take a look at Apple Maps. Apple Maps look more like iOS. You can see the bookmark button at the right, the search or address bar in the middle, and also the navigating button at the left. Pretty simple. In Google Maps, we have that user button at the top right corner where we can enter our home address and work address, so it's pretty easy to locate it from anywhere. Then a little to the left we have the navigation or directions button where we can basically find navigation in the Google Maps app. So let's see how exactly they work in Google Maps. So let's say we want to go from San Francisco to say LA. Alright, so as you see, it gave us one single direction, remember that. As you see in this wonderful interface, we have the preview button right here, so we can actually preview what turns and stuff we have to make. If you tap at the bottom, you can see the full list of all the turns you have to make, and I really like it because it has this wonderful interface. You can do like and drag it. What I find a little bit smarter in the Apple Maps is that it actually proposes multiple directions, so we can pick one. What if we, let's say, internet doesn't know about our plans, or let's say we want to travel by the ocean? At the bottom we have the list of all turns we have to make, just like in the Google app, or we can already click on start and then see what turns we have to make on the road itself. Now both apps have voice navigation, but I haven't tried out the Google Maps one yet, so I can't really tell which one is better, but let's leave it like that, both have it. Now let's talk about the traffic info. Let's take a look at Lausanne traffic at the moment. You can see there's only a few red lines on the Google Maps and a lot of red lines on Apple Maps. What I can definitely say is that Apple Maps have been really great for me in terms of traffic information. When I was in a bus or in a car, the actual situation on the roads was pretty much the same as in the app itself. But I can say that it doesn't work everywhere. For example, in Moscow, as you can see here, where you will have to use Google Maps. So it doesn't work everywhere, but I guess if it works just fine, and it can compete with Google Maps in that category. Now what's completely clear is that Google Maps completely win in the public transport category, as they can actually tell you how to get to a certain place using buses or other different transport types. Now as you can see, everything is pretty much clear in this, and we even get a map of all public transits right here. We can actually zoom it out. On Apple's side, it's pretty funny because we can't get any information about the public transport, and it actually recommends us to use Google Maps. So if you are using public transport or you're planning to go somewhere and use it, here is your clear answer. However, if you live outside the US, the public transit may not be supported in your region, so we shouldn't completely give this category to Google. Now let's take a look at the maps themselves, specifically the 3D, or how Apple calls it, the flyover feature. As you can see, as I zoom in here in Google Maps, I can see houses in 3D, but Apple has pretty much the same response to that. Let's take a look. Just kidding. So here it is. Here is Apple Maps. It can basically do the same kind of thing, but it has a huge advantage over it. It can actually load 3D satellite style images for all houses, but that only works in the major cities around the world. While Google's original thing was a Street View, which by the way is back to iOS 6. Except this thing works in a whole lot more cities, so this category goes to Google Maps. One of the major critiques about Apple Maps was the lack of points of interest, which means basically the different restaurants and stuff like that. But I searched for a hairdresser in the same kind of position on the map, and it actually gave me pretty much the same results as Google Maps. However, if you do live in Europe or anywhere else outside the US, you may be concerned about that problem. Apple Maps just can't find the place you're looking for. So I guess if you live in Europe, just don't use Apple Maps and switch to Google Maps. at least for now when they're not fixed yet.
So in overall, I don't really think Apple Maps is that bad compared to Google Maps. I think it's over-criticized a little bit, but it also depends on the region you live in. If you live in Europe, I would recommend you downloading the Google Maps because they just have a better database and more points of interest inside. But there are actually places that I'm informed about, I think in Eastern Russia or Asia, that have a better database with using Apple Maps. So it really depends on where you live. So to sum it up, if you live in the US or Canada, you shouldn't really bother about downloading the Google Maps app unless if you care about Street View. But otherwise, if you live in somewhere else, you should get the Google Maps because it just has better services than those of Apple Maps. So I hope this video helped you to choose which one to use, Google Maps or Apple Maps. I think Apple Maps are really over-criticized. They're not actually that bad, but I do actually have a disclaimer. Even though we reviewed both of these apps from all of the sides we could, I think, you might have a different opinion which may differ from mine, so don't really judge me if you don't agree with me on some of the stuff. Anyways guys, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to click that like button if you liked it, and also subscribe for more videos right above the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.